Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Mr. Mindless and today I have for you guys a $300 gaming PC build for the month of June. Now this PC is the ultimate esports machine, especially since this PC comprises of new parts. You guys won't find any struggle trying to find these parts. They're all available on Amazon and Newegg. And also the links for these parts are down in the description below, so be sure to check that out. Now this PC can play any esports game, of course it's called esports machine, at high settings and achieve high FPS. This PC can also play some AAA titles at medium settings and achieve 30 FPS. Although I would not recommend this PC for playing AAA titles, it can be done. Now for the CPU, I want the Intel Pentium G4560. This is a dual-core processor that's hyper-threaded, clocked at 3.6 GHz. One of the best budget processors available on the market right now, especially for this price point. It is the i3 killer. There's nothing that's brand new that could beat this. Of course, Ryzen 3 has not been released yet, so when that does come out, we will see how that does. But for now, this is the only thing that's available, and it is an excellent processor and will not have any problem playing our games. Now for the GPU, I chose the NVIDIA GT1030. This is a brand new graphics card released by NVIDIA recently, and this card has shown in benchmarks that it is an excellent contender in NVIDIA's lineup. Of course, some of you may consider, why a GT1030, why not GT1050? Well, 1050 is really good graphics card, don't get me wrong, $100, but the 1050 is, even though NVIDIA calls that its esports card, I would say this one is a better one because it's much cheaper. Single slot card, which means that it can fit in much more PCs. Like it's just a really good graphics card. Okay, at this point, it can play Overwatch and Dota 2 at high settings and achieve above 60 FPS, which is all you need while playing these esports games to make sure that you don't ever miss a shot. For now, storage, I went for Western Digital 500GB hard. Now 500GB is a little small in 2017, although since this is an esports machine, I wouldn't see any problem with that because esports games, Overwatch, League of Legends, all 10GB, and so you won't see any problem. Although if you do see storage filling up, or if you're playing AAA titles which are massive games, 40 to 60 gigabytes, then I would say upgrade to a 1TB one, or if you're only playing esport titles, I would say go for a 120GB SSD if you're only going to play like one game. For example, if you want to play Overwatch, then a 120GB will take up like 10GB of the space and the rest is just free to boot up. And SSD will mean faster boot up speed, it's more reliable, so that's also an option, although I would not recommend that because you can't really do much with that much. Now for the RAM, I went for 8GB of DDR4 memory. I could have gone for 4GB, but that would reduce the cost a lot more. But I feel like 8GB is a much safer sweet spot, especially if you want to upgrade in the future, like upgrade your graphics card or your processor. The 8GB of RAM will be there steady, and it can help when playing AAA titles or even esport titles and achieving a greater effort. Now for the case, I went for a Xeon PC cabinet. This case has a built-in power supply. I went with this case primarily to lower our costs because getting a PC case as well as a dedicated power supply that's by Corsair EVGA would be too expensive. Although if you're too paranoid of using a non-branded power supply, you can always just swap it out for another one later on. Although I don't see why this power supply would not damage your computer in the next few years. But if you can afford the increase in price, I would say change the power supply out, especially if you want to do any upgrades in terms of GPU or CPU. Now for the motherboard, I went for a H110M motherboard. This is the LGA1151 socket type, which means that it can fit our processor, but this is not a KB Lake motherboard. What this means is, even though they made the same socket type and this board can support KB Lakes, you would need a BIOS update. Now the newer motherboards coming out of these Skylake motherboards, especially this H110M, will come with the update. But if yours doesn't, you can either go to a local store and ask them to update it, like a local PC store that has Skylake chips. You can ask them to update the BIOS, or if one of your friends has a Skylake CPU, you can ask them to update the BIOS for you. Also, if none of these are possible, you can just go and buy it from a local store It might even be cheaper, who knows? But that's also another option. You can just ask them to update it themselves. They'll be more than willing to help. That's all the parts that comprise of my $300 esports machine. If you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to smack the like button and be sure to hit that subscribe button if you really enjoyed it. And I will see you guys